We all know what happened to Azula at the end of Avatar the Last Airbender. She got defeated by Zuko and Katara, got chained up to the ground, and started breathing hot blue fire from her mouth due to the anger and rage that she wasn't able to defeat her own brother. And we never saw her again. Right? Today we're going to be talking about the life of Azula and what actually happened to her after she was defeated by Prince Zuko. Or should I say Fire Lord Zuko, huh? Alright, I'm gonna stop. Alright, let's get into this video. Let's go! Princess Azula was born to Prince Ozai and Princess Ursa in 85 AG, and was named after her paternal grandfather, Fire Lord Azulon. Azula grew up with all the riches. The two would often reenact the final duel of love amongst the dragons after watching the play during their frequent vacations at Ember Island. Both siblings happily recalled these memories many years later. However, as they grew older, the siblings eventually grew apart. Though Azula was clearly favoured by Ozai, she felt that her mother loved Zuko much more than her, creating a rift of jealousy between her, Ursa, and Zuko. Confronted daily with this mother-son bonding, Azula often attempted to gain Ursa's attention in some way. However, these attempts usually resulted in family quarrels. Ursa scolded Azula for disrespecting the royal garden, but the princess just said that the flower deserved it, as it had not grown to her liking. In retaliation for telling on her, the Fire Nation princess burned Zuko's bottom, calling him a tattletale. However, Ursa promptly sent her to her room, scowling over this treatment. Azula stormed off. Scenes like this become regular occurrences, and as a result, the Fire Princess developed an increasingly hostile attitude towards Zuko and Ursa. Months later, Azula and her family ate together at the palace dining hall. The princess, dissatisfied with the conservative training techniques of her firebending teacher, happily told her father that she set his britches on fire after being lectured by him. Ozai agreed that the teacher sounded like a fool for insisting on specified forms and declared that he would send him to the colonies as punishment. Full of spiteful joy, Azula said that it served him right and called him a dummy. When Zuko attempted to defend the tutor, he was promptly silenced by his father. He reprimanded him for his poor firebending skills and compared him with Azula and her natural talent for the bending art. Ozai revealed that he nearly discarded Zuko at birth, believing the prince to be a non-bender, causing Azula to smile triumphantly at her shocked brother. Azula often displayed her natural talents, along with her tendency for malice and perfection, but these traits were especially clear when the princess played with her friends in a royal garden in 95 AG. When Ty Lee successfully performed a cartwheel after Azula's failed attempt, she shoved her friend to the ground out of jealousy while laughing gleefully. When she saw 10-year-old Mai attempting to hide her crush on her brother Zuko, Azula used her acting and cunning to convince her mother to make Zuko play with them. During their game, she placed an apple on Mai's head and set it on fire, forcing Zuko to tackle Mai into a fountain to put out the fire. She found great pleasure in embarrassing the two of them. A true tactician, Azula desired power from a young age, suggesting that her father would make a better Fire Lord than her heir apparent, her uncle Iroh. She torched a doll that her uncle had sent her as a gift from the Earth Kingdom, preferring the weapon Zuko had gotten over a simple doll. Not long after this, her cousin Lu Ten was killed in battle, prompting Iroh to abandon his legendary 600-day Sage of Ba Sing Se, which in turn prompted Azula to call him a quitter and a loser. She even showed some slight disrespect to her grandfather, as when she was told to call him Fire Lord Azulon, she responded with, "Can't we just call him grandfather? He's not exactly the powerful firebender he used to be." Father requests that he be made Fire Lord instead of Iroh. When Zuko fled in fear of the Fire Lord's anger, Azula stayed behind to watch with amusement. She later met her brother back in his room, claiming gleefully that she heard that her grandfather sentenced him to death. She taunted him about it until their mother angrily pulled her away for a private talk. Under pressure from Ursa, Azula confessed what she overheard and was told by her mother to go to her room, which she did with a devious smile. A short time later, a nation with glee. No amicable feeling developed between her and Zuko throughout the next few years, as Ozai apparently began to favour her more and more over her brother during this period. Azula, alongside Iroh and Zhao, watched Zuko's Agni Kai with his father. When Ozai burned her brother's face, she smiled smugly in triumph, along with Zhao. When Zuko was banished from the Fire Nation, Azula officially became Ozai's heir. For the next 3 years, she would continue her relentless training in firebending, strategy, and combat, until she refined herself enough to serve her father. By this time, her firebending advanced to the level where her fire was blue, and she could create lightning, thus increasing her overall bending power and intensity, making her a formidable opponent. Shortly after Zhao's failed siege on the Northern Water Tribe, Azula was summoned by her father to his throne room. As she knelt before Fire Lord Ozai, he commented that Zuko was a failure and Iroh was a traitor. He charged her with the mission to find and capture her uncle and brother. Azula eventually found Zuko and Iroh in a village resort and attempted to capture them both, luring Zuko with false promise of being accepted home with open arms. Her initial plan of luring her two descendant family members was ultimately thwarted by her own ship's captain, who accidentally revealed their true intentions to Zuko and Iroh. A skirmish ensued, in which Azula was thrown overboard, thus allowing Zuko and Iroh to escape. After some time searching for the conspiracy with the treacherous Minister Long Feng, she had the Dai Li arrest the Council of Five, the Earth King's highest-ranking generals, while she personally captured the monarch. Sokka and Toph were arrested as well while attempting to warn Earth King Q of the danger. Azula sent them off to a separate dungeon. Immediately afterward, Long Feng arrived on the scene and commanded the Dai Li to arrest Azula, smugly proclaiming a double cross. But Azula herself was ready for the double cross and convinced the Dai Li to pledge loyalty to her. Long Feng eventually grudgingly obliged, saying that she had beaten him at his own game. Azula encountered Zuko in Ba Sing Se and managed to convince him to join her in order to redeem his birthright to position as ruler of Ba Sing Se over to Zhou Di, whom she viewed as the perfect person to leave in her stead. Dubbing the former tour guide Supreme Bureaucratic Administrator, she also brought back her uncle Iroh, who was considered a traitor and would be imprisoned in the capital city prison complex. Back home, both her and her brother were welcomed as war heroes and were agreed to travel to Ember Island for a brief vacation while the Fire Lord conferred with his advisors in private. Azula took advantage of this opportunity to experience life as a normal person for the very first time, choosing to keep her and Zuko's true identity a secret. The vacation was one of the few moments of her life when Azula, albeit only for a moment, opened up and revealed pain and resentment about the relationship with her mother, which still plagued her. After returning to the Fire Nation capital, Azula, along with her father, brother, and all the high-ranking military officials in the Fire Nation, attended an important all-day war meeting, where she suggested using Sozin's Comet to destroy the Earth Kingdom once and for all, a plan which dismayed Zuko and would contribute to his eventual defection. Having gained knowledge of the invasion during her infiltration in the Earth Kingdom, Azula warned the Fire Lord, and the royal family evacuated to an underground bunker prior to the invasion. Azula and her agents stalled Aang and his friends Sokka and Toph from finding Fire Lord Ozai before the eclipse, which itself lasted only 8 minutes. This distraction helped allow the Fire Nation to retaliate with full force once they regained control over their bending abilities, causing the invasion to fail. Later, Azula, accompanied by Mai and Ty Lee, went to the Boiling Rock, the top-secret Fire Nation prison, where Zuko had been captured while infiltrating the prison in an attempt to rescue Hakuda. However, Zuko, Sokka, Suki, and Hakuda managed to escape due to Mai's intervention at a critical moment. Enraged, Azula confronted Mai, who confessed that her love for Zuko was greater than her fear for Azula. At that moment, Azula prepared to attack Mai, but Ty Lee stopped her by blocking her chi. Azula then had both Mai and Ty Lee imprisoned as traitors. After the prison ended as an anchor in the cliff wall, despite having failed to eliminate either Zuko or Aang, she smiled as the Avatar and his friends escaped. In the finale, Ozai named Azula his successor as Fire Lord. While honored, she asked what would that meant for Ozai, who then revealed that he would assume the higher ranked position of Phoenix King. Having her final goal tainted by her father proved to be the final nail in the coffin for Azula, as she began to have a mental breakdown. She became suspicious of her servants and dismissed them along with her advisors Lo and Lee. While attempting to trim her hair for her coronation, Azula saw a hallucination of her mother, who told her that she still loved her, which Azula was incapable of accepting. During the coronation ceremony, Zuko and Katara arrived at the palace before Azula was crowned Fire Lord. Wild, were powerful, emotional, and reckless, while Zuko's attacks were calm and controlled, and eventually he gained the upper hand. When he began to overpower her, Azula, responding to his challenge to use lightning, trained her attack on Katara. However, Zuko intercepted her attack and was mortally injured as a result. Azula then attacked Katara, but she was defeated when Katara trapped them both in ice and chained her to the floor. Seeing her reign prevented, knowing that it was Katara who did it and that her brother was going to survive, Azula let her a fiery roar before devolving into a sobbing, gibbering mess. Alright, so now we know everything about Azula's past, but what happened to her after the 100-Year War? Find out on the next exciting episode of The Untold Story of Azula. Alright, I want to thank all you guys for watching this video. This video did take around 3 days to edit and to upload, so if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, that would mean so much to me. And yeah, stay tuned for part 2, and I'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
構おまさびしみかのしなかうのすりひめためねかめねしゃいとしみにたとたばころしみにばそまえおえちままきとたばちめにもってそれくて